Morning wishes and hearty welcome to the esteemed faculty members, renowned resource person Professor John Stewart Raj, and lettered literarians joined with us from various corners of the digital realm. On this fifth day of our faculty development program, it's my pleasure to guide you all through this immersive journey where knowledge transcends physical boundaries. To accelerate this session, privileged to invite Mrs. Christy Lydia Jansi, Assistant Professor of English at Nazareth Margoschis College, to lead us in the spiritual contemplation. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Let us begin this day 5, session 1 of our FDP with a prayer. The Lord does great things beyond our understanding. Gracious and Almighty Lord Jesus, as we come together on the 5th day of our FDP, we lift our hearts in gratitude for the opportunities to learn, grow, and collaborate. Dear Lord, grant us the discernment to embrace new ideas and the humility to acknowledge that learning is a lifelong journey. Bless each participant, faculty with good health and enthusiasm for the pursuit of knowledge. Dear Lord, guide our discussion and reflections so that we may be fruitful and transformative. Dear Jesus, the insights we gain during this program ripple into our classroom, making a positive impact on the lives of students we teach. Dear God, bless our college secretary, principal, organizers, all the participating faculties, and especially our resource person. Dear God, help us to rely in your divine wisdom. We ask all these things in the most precious name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, Christy, ma'am. May your prayers continue to guide and inspire us all. In keeping with the spirit of this occasion, I would like to invite the research scholar of the PG and Research Department of English, Ms. Shamlin Golda, to impart words of wisdom and inspiration from the Bible. Over to you, Shamlin.
Good morning, everyone. The scripture reading is taken from Gospel according to St. Matthew, chapter 5, verses beginning to read from 1 to 10. And seeking the multitudes, he went up into a mountain, and when he was set, his disciples came unto him. And he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Here continues the reading. This is the word of God.
Thank you, Ms. Shamlin, for sharing insights from the scriptures with us today. Our session today is graced by the presence of the accomplished research guide of PG and Research Department of English, Dr. J. Mary Stella, who takes a spotlight to extend greetings and set the tone for a memorable gathering. Over to you, ma'am, to deliver the welcome address.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. The warm and pleasant good morning to all present here. First of all, I thank Almighty Lord Jesus Christ, who has helped us to complete last 4 days in successful manner. So today, I feel very happy to enter this 5th day. On this occasion, we are extremely happy to have with an eminent person, Professor J. John Stewart Raj, Assistant Professor, PG and Research Department of English, American College, Madurai, as our chief guest. On behalf of our college, I extend a hearty welcome to you for this 7-day faculty development program. Welcome you, sir. The one who acts as a pillar of support and strength with a clear vision and passion, entwined with novelty in all the activities of our college, is our secretary, Mr. Prem Kumar Rajasingh. Let me welcome you, sir, to this wonderful occasion. I welcome our principal, Dr. Javaga Sambal, who is the best supporter of all the challenging ventures taken by the college. A cordial welcome to you, sir. My hearty welcome to our HOD, Professor June Livingston, who heads us in all our department activities. I welcome you, sir. Risk, challenges, and stakes are very high. These are the good qualities and capacity. That is our convener. Yes, I extend my warm welcome to Dr. Beulah Hemalata, Assistant Professor of English, convener of FDP program, NSS coordinator. I welcome you, ma'am. I feel honored to welcome all the organizers for their tireless efforts. And I would like to welcome all the faculty members and my fellow colleagues for taking a keen part in this program. I'm sure that you all will feel enriched with knowledge after completion of this event. I would welcome you all once again to this FDP program. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mary Stella, for fueling us with the energy and spirit you have brought to the beginning of our session. Now, it is with great pleasure I invite the research scholar and the Assistant Professor of English, Ms. Eunice, with her profound view and understanding, to introduce and welcome our versatile resource person, Professor John Stewart Raj, Assistant Professor of English at the American College, Madurai, who will be guiding us through this enlightening session and render transformating learning experience into the vast and dynamic world of artificial intelligence. Over to Eunice for the introduction of our veteran resource person.
Good morning, everyone. It is my pleasure to introduce today's speaker, Mr. J. John Stewart Raj, an esteemed assistant professor at American College in Madurai. With over 3 years of dedicated service in the field of education, Dr. John Stewart Raj brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to our gathering today. Currently pursuing PhD in English language teaching, Dr. John Stewart Raj demonstrates his unwavering commitment to academic excellence and professional growth. His areas of specialization encompass mobile learning, ELT, literary criticism, film studies, and cultural studies, showcasing his diverse perspectives and intellectual curiosity. Beyond the confines of the classroom, Dr. John Stewart Raj actively engages in theatrical landscapes of Madurai. His involvement in Maverick Theatre and American College Theatre productions highlights his passion for the performing arts and his ability to connect with diverse communities through the power of storytelling. A true embodiment of academic rigor and artistic expression, Dr. J. John Stewart Raj is a beacon of inspiration for aspiring educators and theatre enthusiasts. We are honored to have him grace our presence today. We welcome you, sir, and we are greatly pleasure to have you here today. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ms. Eunice. On behalf of the PG and Research Department of English, Nazareth Margoschis College, a hearty welcome to the resource person, Professor John Stewart Raj. Respected sir, the virtual stage is now yours.
Thank you, ma'am. I hope I'm audible enough. And I thank I thank you for the words of introduction, and that means a lot. I have to keep up with that and do justice in this forum. A pleasant morning to all. At the outset, I would like to convey my gratitude to the principal of Margoschis College, head of the Department of English, organizing committee, and the coordinator for this 7-day National Online Faculty Development Program, Dr. Biola, and the others who are involved in this program to make it a grand success. I now thank my guidance supervisor, Dr. John Shager, and also Dr. Jagosh and Jiresh for giving me this opportunity to be a part of this FDP. And finally, with all my heart, I thank Dr. K. Abarna Sri Preeti, who was supposed to be the resource person for today. And I feel immensely happy to collaborate with her and present the views related to the transhuman ways of teaching learning experience to the scholarly audience on the given topic, AI in education, an academics ally or rival, a discourse on its effective and ethical use. With these words of gratitude and appreciation, let me dwell into the topic for today's discussion. Let me state it again, the topic for today, AI in education, an academics ally or rival, a discourse on its effective and ethical use. So I would like to take off from where Dr. Jiresh has left yesterday, left us with the ideas of post-humanism and transhumanism on yesterday's morning session. I hope you would have keenly observed the slide that differentiated this post-humanism and transhumanism. And I would like to take this technological perspective being brought up by this philosophical statements given by post-humanism and the practical ideas given by the transhumanism. So as a post-humanist, one sees technology as a force that challenges and deconstructs traditional human-machine boundaries. This is the perspective of post-humanist. It's highly philosophical. And before I would like to state an instance during the Second World War. It was called as the Tank War of Kursk. It was between Soviet Russia and Nazi Germany in the Eastern Front of the Eastern Front of the Europe. And the war was in the summer of 1943. And that was the time when the then leader of Soviet Russia, the Red Army leader, Joseph Stalin, he said that this particular war of 1943, the tank war between two machines, it was the war of the machines. It was a war of the machines, he stated. And human beings or humans, before they could understand they are trying to interfere or they are trying to accommodate with the machinery technology, they used this facility and waged war. And it was not like that. But to get an answer for this question, AI and academics, ally or rival, one must become a transhumanist and embrace technology as a tool to enhance human capabilities and achieve transhuman goals, not just for war, not just for a mere survival or anything, but more than that, we have to embrace technology as a tool that enhances our capabilities and it will help us achieve those goals, transhuman goals. Again, I would like to quote Kaniyan Pungandrana's poetic line, Teedum Nandrum Pirar Taravara. Maybe I would like to argue this particular line with support to my discourse that comes in the later slides that I would share it to you. And I would, it is that we, from whom all good and not so good comes, and it is not from the technology as we should consider at the outset. And to talk about the evolution of education and the classroom trends over the period of past few decades, say 5 decades, the demand from the learners change based on the advancement in the field of science and technology that you are aware of. As we move on with our lives in the ever-changing technological era, artificial intelligence has permeated every facet of our lives, and education is no exception. To add, AI has transformed our lives, which we haven't imagined in the past few years. And the COVID or the post-COVID scenario brought that to the reality. Say, for example, the cars that we use now, the Bharat Stage 6 cars that incorporate this technology, AI technology, and it helps us even without we measuring manually, it measures our fuel and it gives us the mileage while we are on the go. A small semi AI infusion into our cars that we use regularly. So AI has transformed our lives. Yes. And of course, artificial intelligence, it offers unprecedented opportunities while raising profound questions about its role in shaping the academic landscape. Now we talk about the academic landscape, academic area where though it gives unprecedented opportunities, we have certain questions, questions that have been raised, and how it is shaping the academia. And today's discourse is an inclusive contemplation. I don't want to be the one who wants to talk or address, but it is I want us to inclusively contemplate and explore the symbiotic relationship between academia and artificial intelligence. So before I go on with the presentation and the valid points, challenges of AI and the trends, new trends in the transhuman infusion of AI into academic classrooms, there are a few questions that we in general have, in the generic sense, we have a few questions like, is AI a formidable ally, enhancing the educational experience and opening doors to unparalleled possibilities? Or does it pose as a rival, potentially challenging the very essence of the human-centric educational process? I repeat, is AI a formidable ally, enhancing the educational experience and opening doors to unparalleled possibilities? Or does it pose as a rival, potentially challenging the very essence of the human-centric educational process? So this is the basic question that everyone asks. Even a few days back, I was having an heated debate or an argument, maybe an academical argument, with one of my fellow colleagues who was from another department, senior colleague, professor and senior colleague. And we were debating over the use of technology, mobile phones, smartphones, and AI in teaching, learning, and testing processes. And I found I was having a hard time to make the other person convinced that it is transforming our lives. So we have this basic question: does it support us? Is it a pro or a con? We don't know. And again, there happens to be another question that comes into our mind: how are we going to harness this AI, a technological marvel, without compromising the values that form the bedrock of education? Yes, we have certain standard educational ideas, and we don't want to compromise those values. Yes, of course, the ethics, the ethos of education. But these technological marvels, they help us. And the basic question is that it is put to us how to harness this AI. And regarding this harnessing of technology, there was an article in the Education Plus of the Hindu by Deepali Dharmaraj, a member of British Council. The article was titled "Harnessing Technology for the English Classroom." It was dated July 2023. And it suggests, I quote, "While technology can be a valuable tool in the classroom, it must be used strategically and purposefully to achieve the best results." I end the quote here. So how we harness, that matters. Yes, we have our challenges. And AI, artificial intelligence, has become the integral part of our educational life. We cannot separate it now. the introduction of ChatGPT has changed. We using online medium, say for now, the FDP is in online, and we are using all the other resources, AI resources, and there happens to be a particular option in the very Zoom that we use, AI companion. There is one option, and if the host allows it, you can use it too. So we are using it, and it is the new normal or new paradigm we are in, and it has become the integral part of our educational lives and academia. So with these few comments, a few thoughts, let me dive into the objectives of the course, and I would try to share the screen with you. Excuse me. I think you are able to see the screen, yes? Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So I hope you are able to see the screen. And let me start with the objectives of today's session. So informatively engage the scholarly audience for the next 60 to 75 minutes. Maybe it is very hard for us now, yes, to sit in front of a screen, and that too in the age of watching with all the other elements present in our environment. These, on a lighter note, these FDPs and seminars helps the teaching fraternity to understand the plight of students during an unconventional lecture classroom. But I hope this particular session would help you understand how we have to transform ourselves and embrace co-adapt, be co-adaptive to embrace AI. Next objective is trace the teaching learning challenges in the technology dominated context. And the third one, analyze the impact of AI revolution in the academic context, explore the scope of using AI in English studies and research, perceive the ethical concerns pertaining to using AI in education, overview of doubts and questions raised by academicians on AI's dominance. Yes, of course, there are a few questions, few frequently asked questions, and that we have to answer, and I would try to answer it. And evolve practical solutions through AI, human and AI collaboration. So of course, it is a collaborative method, and we have to evolve practical solutions, and maybe I would try to do that too in this session. And finally, summarize the key insights way ahead. So before getting into the discourse that we are going to have, I want you to see this particular video. I hope you can see the screen. Yes. Please watch this video and place your comments. And so we know this. And now we are reducing the continuity of that type. So, but from there, can you see directly from the equation from the different equation? So, I think you saw the video. Can you guess where it has been shot? This particular video. You can put your answers in the comment chat box. You can share. I don't want this to be one perspective. Yes, inside a classroom. And yes, okay. So this particular video was shot in a classroom in IIT Bombay, one of the yes, IIT Bombay. Yes, of course. And our premier institutions of India. Yes, of course, you know that. And you know how the classrooms are. And amidst that, we have to remember this particular video reflects a classroom amidst internet accessibility, not completely an AI-dominated classroom, of course. And moreover, the students are not doing non-academic stuff. They are not watching any Instagram reels. They are not texting somebody. They're not watching any movie there. They're using different sources to enhance their teaching learning experiences. And of course, this particular video is certainly a wake-up call for the academicians to revisit and refocus to stay relevant in this AI-dominated academic context. And since AI make learning personalized, people perceive that the teacher's role is minimized. However, I believe by the end of this session, we will have a better viewpoint of what is expected of academicians and how we can upskill ourselves to stay relevant in this challenging scenario. So this particular video is an eye-opener for all of us. Maybe the next slide is all about the teaching learning challenges in the technology-dominated context. Of course, we have our challenges. We are reluctant enough to make it possible, make AI possible in the classrooms. But of course, the reality is that they are dominated. They are dominated in the classrooms, and we have to accept the reality. And we have our challenges. And how are we going to engage the engagement and participation inside the classroom or inside the virtual classroom? It's very, very important, because it plays a formidable challenge, or it poses a formidable challenge, one that transcends mere technological barriers. So it's not only with technical issues, it's not only how we use it or the knowledge of how we are using the tools, AI tools. Say, a teacher is very enthusiastic, and the teacher collides with the generational gap and differences in technological know-how. So bridging this gap isn't just about understanding the gadgets, how to use a laptop, how to use this particular application. It's not about that. It's about forging connections that transcends screen and age groups. And it's very, very important. Like it's like this. The meta connection that we have. Beyond this, the one normal query that everyone places that is that you don't have this personal touch when it comes to the engaging classrooms on an online forum or in an AI-dominated context. But we have to create this. We have to transcend ourselves. We have to transform ourselves through transcend screens, transcend age groups, and we have to connect. This meta connectivity is very, very important. And meta connectivity takes me to this particular word, metaverse. There happens to be this particular AI generated virtual 3D world. And there are a few computer geeks who doesn't want to live a real life. They go on, sit in that, they earn money in that particular metaverse, which is an virtual 3D world. You wear your AI goggles and you just sit in front of the monitor, and you are a real person in that world, in that particular universe or multiverse, say a virtual multiverse. So you connect yourself. So that's the age group we are in. We are facing students. We are having students or learners in that medium. So how we have to engage with them and participate in an academic discourse. That's very, very important. That plays to be a huge challenge. And the next one is the digital divide. This particular challenge is seen maybe in day-to-day aspects. When we get into a classroom as facilitators and teachers, we see this particular challenge that in the digital era, yes, we know that that's reality. That is digital divide. Say, when you go into a classroom, learners or students are separated by socioeconomic and geographical differences, and they grapple with uneven access to digital technology. And I happen to be, I tried to incorporate technology in my classrooms, and I found a few of my students who were from rural background, they were unable to get access to a smartphone in their first year of college. And maybe how we are going to bridge this particular gap, this particular challenge is very, very present in today's context, digital divide amongst the learners and also amongst the teachers. So it's one challenge. And teacher training, it's the next challenge that we have to have in our mind, because the backbone of educational progress is our educators, and yet they face the challenge of navigating a vast technological landscape without adequate training. Yes, of course. Teachers or the educators don't get enough training. So when you want to passionately impart knowledge in a classroom, we have this knowledge and we want to incorporate or impart that in the classroom, and the lack of digital literacy to leverage technological, the lack of digital literacy, maybe it acts as a barrier, a challenge, and we have to overcome that. And the next one is job displacement. So in the this particular challenge is a legitimate fear that reverberates, and the fear of job displacement due to AI. And we have here we have seen a few articles regarding that, read a few articles regarding that. News was there all, and we are able to see some reels that where there were firing of IT people from the companies, big companies, the giant IT companies. They fired a few people because of the advent of AI in their platforms. So maybe, when we imagine a scenario where educators grapple with uncertainty about their role in the future, this challenge compels us not to resist change, but to redefine our roles, turning the fear of job loss into an opportunity for collaboration and co-creation. And of course, that's the challenge: how we are going to collaborate and co-create, and how we are going to redefine our roles. That's very, very important. And next one is the mental health. Of course, this particular challenge is yes, of course, it's very, very important to discuss here, because in this digital era, mental health emerges as a critical challenge, because we try to stay connected in a constant medium, and this leads to digital overload and anxieties. Of course, every day we are connected 24/7, we are connected with our mobile phones, and our internet is on, and we receive messages, we receive feeds. And maybe in a classroom setup like that, yes, of course, it's very, very important. Even outside the classroom, we are together with the technology, infused with the technology, and inside the classroom too, yes, of course. So our challenge is not just academic, but emotional also, calling for a balanced integration of technology, striking a balance between technology and the mental well-being those who are involved. So that's one bigger challenge. And next one is the curriculum framing. Yes, of course, it acts as the heartbeat of education. Curriculum acts as the heartbeat of education, and in the age of AI, framing it becomes pivotal. Consider the importance of designing creative and challenging syllabi that align with the dynamic landscape of AI-based education. Our challenge is to evolve the curricula that not only keep pace with the technological advancements, but also nurture critical thinking. That's very, very important. Critical thinking and creativity in students, because yes, they have all these fundamental ideas, but how are we going to adapt our curriculum that has these ideas, nurturing of critical thinking and creativity among the learners and students? And of course, the next challenge is the assessment and evaluation. It's there from the beginning of our online classrooms. Is how are we going to assess our fellow learners? How are we going to evaluate them based on that? So assessment and evaluation, the pillars of education, confront a unique challenge in the AI age. And imagine assessments that go beyond rote memorization to stimulate critical and creative thinking. Yes, we have to think beyond that. Think beyond memorizing those facts, those years, and concepts. Just memorizing and presenting it in the paper. We have to go beyond that. How to stimulate, how to assess these critical and creative thinking. Our challenge is not just to test, but to evolve assessments that mirror real world skills students need. Even in a world where AI provides instant access to vast information, yes, there happens to be this challenge, how we are going to assess them through evolving assessments that mirror real world skills that the learners and students need. And the next one is customization versus standardization. Of course, we know this particular word, standardization. Everything is standardized in education. Of course, there are a few administrative levels which decide what should be given, how it should be given, how the curriculum should be framed, how the assessment should be made, and everything is standardized. But in this AI dominant context, I think standardization is also a challenge. And this customization, how we are going to incorporate it, it becomes a bigger challenge. So in our quest for effective assessments, we grapple with a dichotomy between customization and standardization. So picture a scenario where standardized tests fall short in capturing the unique strengths and weaknesses of individual learners. No, standardized assessments or tests, they fall short. And they don't test the unique strengths, and they don't go for reaching the weaknesses of an individual learner. Our challenge is not just to standardize, but to customize, creating bespoke assessments that cater to the diverse needs of our students. That's very, very important. And that happens to be a challenge. And the next one is inadequate regulation. Yes, of course. Yes, of course. And I hope everybody would agree with me that it acts as a major roadblock in infusing AI into classroom, of course. So how are we going to have these regulations? So because we have inadequate regulations, there happens to be so many other issues related to testing, related to learning, and also to teaching. So as technology integrates seamlessly into education, the need for regulation becomes evident. Envision a scenario where the boundaries of teaching, learning, assessment, and research in an AI-dominated context lack oversight. Our challenge is not just to embrace innovation. It is not just embrace and just incorporate it, but ensure ethical and effective regulation that safeguards the integrity of the educational process. Yes, of course. How are we going to preserve and ensure ethical and effective regulations in the use of AI in classrooms? So that happens to be a bigger challenge here. Inadequate regulation. Still today, we are evolving how to regulate these mediums. That's one thing that we have to consider it as a challenge. And social interaction. In the age of virtual connections, preserving social interaction and essential social skills is paramount, of course. So when we picture a scenario where students navigate a polarized political climate dominated by media narratives, our challenge is not just to impart knowledge, but to foster social interactions that include acceptance, tolerance, and progressive open-minded thinking. So it's not just we are acting as knowledge givers. We are acting as people who foster educators or facilitate. We are people who facilitate or foster social interactions that include acceptance, how to accept a particular knowledge, a particular truth, because we are living in a post-truth era, and we need this tolerance and progressive open-minded thinking. So that happens to be a challenge. And yes, of course, everybody would agree with this. Time management, how to manage time, Yes, of course, it's a bigger question. It's a bigger question that everybody should ask. And time is it's has become a fluid entity in our 24/7 digital era. So when we see this scenario where educators find themselves tethered to responsibilities around the clock, when we use technology, of course, we are connected all throughout the day. And yes, of course, we are tethered to responsibilities around the clock. And our challenge is not just effective time management, but thoughtful balance between work and life. How to balance? These are some of the regulations that we have to make, and how to strike a balance between work and life. That is very, very important. Acknowledging the importance of downtime in a world that expects perpetual productivity, constant productivity. This world, yes, of course, this capitalist world expects us with perpetual productivity. But how are we going to balance this time between work and life when we are all connected all throughout? So that's of course, it's very, very important. And maybe the teacher burnout based on time management. There was one article in Times of India that was titled like, why most faculty members have little time for research. Because after this advent of technology in the classrooms, online forums, of course, yes, so it has become, the teacher burnout is a common thing that we are able to see, because where educators are expected to function as administrators, clerks, and researchers, and often mirroring the relentless efficiency of machines. So our challenge is not just to work tirelessly, but to collaborate with AI and machines, transforming burnout into an opportunity for enhanced effectiveness and productivity. How are we going to do that? And finally, this particular challenge is very, very important. Privacy and security. How are we going to do this? The vulnerability of teacher in this digital realm underscores the need for robust privacy and security measures. So, see, there happens to be several examples, the introduction of these AI into the educational life. People hacking, learners hacking the Google form links and tampering it with with a link that leads to a obscene website. So how are we going to tackle with that? Our challenge is not just to embrace technology again, but to fortify the digital fortress, ensuring the educational journey remains secure and protected space for both educators and learners. It is not only for the educators, it is also for the learners, privacy and security, because we are putting in all the data inside. And how are we going to protect it? How are we going to have a secure platform? That's a bigger challenge here again. So these challenges that we saw, that is listed in the screen, it's not just a roadblock. It is not a barrier for us. We have to consider it as an opportunity for transformation. And this, as we navigate the digital landscape, we have to forge solutions that uphold the essence of education while harnessing the power of technology for the future that is both innovative and humane. So we are not taking this challenge as a barrier, a blockage, but we are trying to make it, transform these challenges into opportunities so that we can harness technology for our own advantage. So that's very, very important. So as we move on to the next one, I want to ask this question. Maybe you can answer, post your answers. Are we in a battle? Are we in a battle? Are we in for a battle with AI and human experiences? You can post it in the chat group, chat platform. Are we in a battle with the AI? I want you to interact, and that would be helpful for me to proceed further. So yes, we think that many think that we are in a battle. Yes, of course. Okay, fine. Of course. Okay. So, and yes, every day we are trying to defend ourselves. I could get a few yeses. So, yes. But do we have to consider it as a battle? Is it going to make us feel bad and defeat us? And there happens to be this question: will teachers be replaced by artificial intelligence? And I happen to get this nostalgic classroom experience where my guidance supervisor was teaching me in 2015 when I was in my UG. And the first class I was there, and he asked us to bring mobile phones. No mobile phones, no class, no, don't enter the classrooms. Without mobile phones, don't enter the classrooms. That's what my guidance supervisor told me. Dr. John Steiger told me and told us, the entire classroom, and he told that technology does not replace, or it won't replace teacher. He also mentioned that in a paper, Technology in the English language classroom, and he concluded that while technology wouldn't replace human teachers, but those who refuse to embrace it might find themselves replaced by those who do. Teachers who use technology would be replaced by teachers who don't use technology. That was the statement he gave gave to us in that classroom. It was a conventional classroom, but he gave that. So it was not the battle between a machine and a human. It is about how we are able to co-adapt ourselves. Maybe that's the basic statement given in The Origin of Species. Charles Darwin's Origin of Species talks about that. Yes, of course, I believe in evolution, and Charles Darwin talks about this particular concept called co-adaptation and coexistence. It is not only with the other animals of the animal kingdom. It's also with the transhumanist perspective. It's also with the machines. It's also with the other things. We should not say that, no, I'm reluctant enough because I think that it is going to crumble all these bedrocks of educational establishments. No, we cannot state that. Maybe when I was having an academic debate with my guide, because my research topic is related to mobile learning. So he gave me this concept. I said to my guide that people are reluctant to use technology in the classrooms. So how are we going to bring that? And he said that he stated an example that in the earlier times in the classrooms, when the advent of scientific calculators, the educators prohibited calculators being used in the classrooms. And I remember a log book was given to us. And they were using it manually. But later, the educational fraternity started using scientific calculators inside the classroom, even inside an examination hall. So that's how we have to embrace and coexist and co-adapt ourselves with the needs that are there, faster needs, and try to balance it. It's not a battle. It's not a battle that we should do that. It is not replacing human jobs. It won't replace humans. Technology won't replace humans, because it was a basic statement given when ChatGPT was introduced. And I made sure that my fellow students in the classroom get an introduction of ChatGPT, and I asked one of my fellow students to elaborate on that, because I was grasping it, and one of my students was all techie. So he was teaching us in the classroom. I gave a few 10 minutes or 15 minutes how to use it and what it's going to make out of what are we going to make out of ChatGPT, because when this was the sentiment that mirrored in the words when ChatGPT was when it was asked to ChatGPT even, and when it was questioned, when ChatGPT was questioned with this question questioned about AI replacing human jobs, it stated, it won't replace humans, but those who resist embracing AI might find themselves on the sidelines. Our path forward is very clear. collaboration with AI is not just desirable, it is an imperative for our relevance in the academic landscape. It's very, very imperative. And it's going to make it, and it's a relevant thing that when we collide with AI, collide and collaborate with AI, we are going to get our best results. And it's not a war between machine and humans. It's not a war. And resistance to technology is not new. Yes, of course. I just before I stated an example how scientific calculators were resisted, how computers initially were reluctant enough to be used, and it was the turning point in the World War II when Alan Turing used it in the Bletchley Park. He constructed the crude idea of a computer, and that helped them to come against the enigmatic code sent by the Nazi Germanies, and they were able to crack and win war finally. So it's helping us. Maybe it would have taken a human being to complete the math, all those probabilities listed by the Enigma mission of the German Nazi communication system. When people would have resisted that, if the government of Britain would have resisted the advancement of technology, what would have happened at the end? They may. I'm not favoring war. I'm not favoring Britain, but I'm just stating. So how it has changed, and we are also at the verge of the quantum computers. When quantum computers get its access in the economy, the normal consumer market, automatically everything would change. And the people are predicting that. So it's not a war. And it's not very new. Resistance to technology is not very new. It's always present. So how are we going to take it forward? That really matters, because they said that, and another example is that when children are when the TV was invented, they said that children can't get a good speech. There would be delay in speech among the children's. But however, David Crystal observes that after the advent of TV, children found new content and context for speech faster than ever. And as of course, I have a personal experience with that. One of my colleagues' nephew started watching an American a cartoon series in the TV, and all of a sudden he picked up the language, the American accent, even without being given a proper training. So that's how TV acts. So we have to agree with that, and that's what David Crystal observes, and he presents it to the academic audience. And in the grand tapestry of technological evolution, resistance has always been a companion. Yet progress persists. Yes, of course, we have to progress, and progress is there always. And of course, it is the fifth industrial revolution, and we are in the we stand on the cusp of the fourth industrial revolution, and it is essential to recognize a pattern. Every industrial revolution has been seen as a threat to human labor. Of course, when huge machineries were built and people feared that it is going to replace. And yes, of course, in modern times, a movie by Charlie Chaplin, you can see that argument. But we must remember that technological revolutions aim not to replace, but to enhance human lives. A touch of a button that enhances your life. It saves time. It helps you do your tasks at an ease. And the key lies in making technology accessible and affordable to the masses. That's very, very important. Instead of fearing change, let us strive to adapt and ensure that the benefits of progress are shared widely. To democratize the accessibility and affordability of technology, that should be the matter. And that would be the fifth industrial revolution, when everybody gets access, and slowly it is there in this particular type of industrial revolution. And exploit before being exploited. It's very, very important, because maybe I'll just go for the next slide here so that you would understand. Here, this is a particular a news article, says that this 23-year-old Texas youth earned 28 lakhs using ChatGPT. When ChatGPT was there, this particular young man who found this significant income generating prospect from ChatGPT, when the whole world was pondering with the capabilities of the ChatGPT. So it is that we have to exploit the resources before before being exploited. Before we get exploited, we have to use it. It's a stark reminder that embracing technology allows us to be pioneers, not the subjects in evolving landscapes. When the landscapes evolve, when the world evolves, and there is a paradigm shift, we have to remind this. When we embrace it, and we would be the pioneers, and not the subjects. Okay. So the next one in that is that ensure optimum use to manage time. Yes, of course. We find the challenge that we discussed earlier, time management. And how are we going to manage time when we are connected with the technology throughout the day? For educators grappling with mundane clerical and administrative work, technology can be a liberating force. When we get this access of using technology, automatically we would be liberated with all these clerical works. It's a matter of few seconds you generate a table. It's a matter of few seconds you generate a pie chart with the with the given data. You no need to sit and draw the pie, then fix it on a CAD application, then process it. Doesn't need that. You can do it, or when you feed it with data, automatically it renders it and it gives you the final product. So that's the way we can manage time. Syllabus framing, course planning, report writing. These are the tasks that AI can handle efficiently. And when people don't embrace it, automatically they get neglected, allowing teachers to redirect their time and energy towards what truly matters in education. We can focus on the essential nurturing of critical thinking skills and creative skills amongst the students and learners, rather than pressurizing ourselves in doing the clerical works and separately typing data on the computers. Even though we use technology, we sit together, we type each and every letter. Just focus on that, how we can use technology effectively. So ensure optimum use to manage time. Ensure the technology for its optimum use to manage time. And AI for lots and I for hearts. It's a statement given by Dr. Jiresh, and he was presenting this talk, giving a seminar on AI in education. The same thing, relevant, it's a very similitude talk in our college. And he stated this perspective, that AI for lots and I for hearts. In a world with induced routines, repeatable tasks involving lower order thinking skills like remembering, understanding, and application, let AI shoulder the burden for you, freeing us human minds from the pursuit that demand the essence of human higher order thinking skills: analyzing, evaluating, creating. That leads to critical and creative thinking. For instance, in research, maybe AI can handle the search, allowing humans to dwell into the realms of critical analysis and imaginative problem solving. It's not just a discourse on the dichotomy of human versus AI, but a call to synergize, collaborate, and carve a future where the strengths of both can be harnessed for the betterment of education and beyond. Yes. So it's AI, artificial intelligence for lots means lower order thinking skills, and I, the human, for higher order thinking skills, thoughts. So that's it. So the next one is AI in education, a transformative force, a transformative force. So as we get into this realm of education, it becomes evident that artificial intelligence is not merely a presence. It's not just present there. It's not just what to say. It does not in fact operate as an omniscient property there, but it becomes evident that artificial intelligence is not merely a presence. It's a transformative force shaping the very landscape of learning. So there are a few things listed here. Personalized learning. Yes, when I use AI, automatically I can personalize my learning experience. We have this education that tells us that one size fits all. I remember like in a 3-4 decades back when my father was in a school education, his parents would get he was a middle child. His parents would get a new uniform that's very long for his brother, and that can be used by my father and then his younger brother. So we are also using education like that. It cannot fit people. It cannot fit learners. It's not one size that fits all. Personalized learning takes center stage now. We can tailor the learning experience to the individual needs and consider the adaptive learning platforms that analyze each student's progress. It adjusts the curriculum to their pace. Maybe when you try to learn something from an AI-based educative forum, automatically it adjusts the curriculum, sets your pace. You don't need to separate the classroom, divide, discriminate learners. Rather, we can focus on harnessing these to help benefit the learners based on their own strengths and weaknesses and the areas that need improvement in the learners. So we can tailor it. Personalized learning, and it gives you immediate feedback. You don't need to wait for a long time. You don't need to sit for a long time and wait for the assessment to be done and the feedback to be got from the learning experience. It gives you an immediate feedback, which once was a luxury. Immediate feedback was once a luxury. Now it's a reality. Now you just put on the data, automatically the student gets it. And enhanced engagement. Yes, of course. Enhanced engagement becomes a hallmark of AI-infused education. Interactive simulations, gamified learning platforms, and virtual reality experiences captivate students in ways traditional methods couldn't. Of course, in teaching methodologies, these practice-based learning, gamified learning, this helps. AI helps us. It's not a battle. It's not a replacement. It helps us. It helps us. It helps the person who exploits these resources, and it gives an enhanced engagement of learning experience. And it makes it, because I'm now just using a Duolingo, an app which uses or it utilizes gamification to make language learning not just an effective but an enjoyable one, because I'm using it. I am a first-hand user of it. I'm learning Russian language, and it gives you gamified exercises, and it also focuses on an immediate feedback and the area of necessary improvement, areas where you have to improve. So I'm able to get a few words in Russian, and I'm regularly, it keeps up my score, and it helps me. It gives me a sense of involvement, and it encourages me in learning the language, Duolingo. So enhanced engagement is, of course, it transforms that. And data-driven insights is, of course, as researchers, as educators, as people from the academia, we know that data-driven insights are the bedrock of informed decision making. When we want to make a decision, when we want to bring a policy, when we want to bring something new to the society, automatically we go for the data. And AI sifts through vast amounts of data to identify patterns, trends and areas of improvement. And yes, of course, that's relevant because there was one particular news where Google started using quantum computers, which would have made it's another advancement in the age of AI, digital era. And Google was able to complete a math that would have taken 60 years in a convenient conventional computer, which uses binary code system. This quantum computer was able to complete it within, say, 1 week or 1 week's time. So AI, even in this conventional computer setup, is making our or giving improvements. So it goes on identifying the patterns, trends, and areas of improvement. Isn't just theoretical. Platforms like Dreambox use data analytics to refine their approach continually, ensuring efficacy in teaching methods. How we have to improve the teaching methods, how we have to improve the gamified exercises and experiences, learning experiences. It gives you data driven insights. So it's a transforming force. AI is a transforming force. Language learning apps, Babel, that employs machine learning to personalize lessons based on individual progress, making language acquisition more efficient, tailored to each learner's space based on my own time. Yes, of course, I told you about Duolingo. When I started that, it asked me how much time would you spend on this app to learn this language? Then I said 20 minutes a day. And automatically it adjusts its exercises based on that, and it gave it back to me. And I'm having it for 20 minutes a day. I'm able to sit and do on my exercises in that app, and I'm able to learn a few words in Russian and also speech utterances. So it is helping me. Language learning apps, it helps us. And chatbots for student supports. So we know that for student support agencies, the student has to spend hours waiting outside the office to get their queries done. AI-powered chatbots, such as those implemented by universities, offer instant support, guidances, and answers to students' queries, fostering a seamless and immediate support system. You don't need to wait. Students don't need to wait for a long time to get these done. They can get it at an instant. So I think most of the universities have incorporated all these things. So when you type, how can I file this? How can I get a certificate? What I have to do? Then automatically there is an interactive response by the chat bot, and it gives you back. And then, of course, this one, this can be a transformative force, because automated grading, we know that how hard it is for us to sit for hours grading each and every paper line by line, correcting it and going with it. So an automated grading done by AI would save us several hours, and it gives a benefit. Like there are platforms like GradeScope that employs machine learning to understand diverse answers, not just one particular pattern, diverse answers, ensuring fair and accurate grading. You don't need to waste time in that. We as educators, we can go on in our progressive, creative, and critical thinking. We can be critiques in the society, and we can make our fellow learners critiques and make them effectively use their higher order thinking skills rather than wasting time in grading papers. It can be a transformative force in a classroom. Content recommendations. Yes, of course, we know that. When we watch a YouTube video, automatically recommended videos would be there. We can use this particular. There are multiple apps. They are using it. Netflix is using. YouTube is using. Google is using. So it can be also used in, when it is used in educational platforms. Automatically, the learner would able to pick the recommendations based on the algorithms this particular learner has searched. So you don't need to go and waste on time by sitting together. The mentor-mentee can be done with AI. And virtual labs and simulations. Here I have to give you one example from my own life. way back in 2000, I think 2016, I got my driving license. And my friend was having this driving school. So friend owned this driving school, and it was easy for me to get an access. But he stated that we are lagging behind in our driving school thing, because there is one in Madurai, one driving school in Madurai that started using auto simulative computer, which has the steering, the pedals, and the gear shift paddle, which gives you a scenario, a traffic scenario, and all these mountain terrain, all these rough terrain, and everything it gives you in that particular simulation. It provides you. And when the learner, it's there, I think it's there near my house, and they were giving this, though it was costly. Then I couldn't opt for that, but they were already started using it. Many fields started using it. NASA, way back in the year 1960s, 50s, they started using simulation technology. So we can create virtual labs and simulations, transform our theoretical learning into experiential understanding. Say, for example, when we want an environment, when we want to create an environment for English language conversations, yes, of course, these chatbots and virtual labs would give you simulations, would give you an ample space that's not present in the real physical world, but in the virtual reality, and it gives you a sense of first-hand experience, kinesthetic learning. It's made easy, meta-kinesthetic learning we can call. So platforms like Labster provide virtual labs that simulate experiments, enabling students to apply theoretical knowledge in a practical setting. You don't need to waste time walking there, and just at the click of a button, you can have these virtual labs and simulations. Before you go into a real experiment, a real process, you have a first-hand experience. That's how all these people astronauts have their experiences. So it's like that. An early intervention. AI's ability for early intervention is a game changer. Through continuous monitoring, AI can identify students at risk of falling behind. It takes a conventional teacher to sit, talk, then find their patterns of examinations, and then come at a conclusion. But AI doesn't do that. It enables educators to intervene promptly. It gives you the information and provides additional support. This proactive approach ensures no learner is left behind. Everyone can learn their real world skills, and no one is left behind. Data analysis, as said, data-driven concept, like data analysis powered by AI, unveils insights to student behavior, performance trends. Like, for instance, learning platforms like Coursera leverage data analysis to understand how students interact with courses, refining content delivery for optimal learning experiences. Pattern recognition is another one. So it enables identification of learners' patterns. How are they going? What mistake does a learner make? How can and the challenges they face? And platforms like Smart Sparrow leverage this capability to recognize pattern in student responses, offering tailored feedback and interventions. It can tailor it on its own. So you need to feed the data, or the learners have to use it. That's it. When you use it, automatically it can sense the algorithm, and it can make alterations, and it can give it back to you. And the other one is NLP. It's not a neuro-linguistic programming like psychoanalytics and psychotherapy has. Its natural language learning process empowers AI to understand and respond to human language, like what we have. Siri, Alexa, or Google microphones, they would respond to your needs. You can automatically go. I can take my mobile phone. I can speak to it. Natural language processing. Yes, of course, it processes. This AI processes my voice, and automatically it gives data. It gives results. Of course. So in education, it facilitates to comprehend the students' careers and engage in natural and contextual conversations. Of course, we can make it. So it's there. Robotic research assistants, of course. You know that in sci-fi movies like Iron Man and all these things, we would have seen it, or in detective comics like Justice League or Batman, we would have seen this AI generator or robotic research assistants. In Iron Man, that robotic research assistant was called as Jarvis. So it's not the science fiction. You can go into operation theaters. They perform surgeries. So AI driven assistants assist researchers by shifting through vast volumes of literature, accelerating the research progress. Yes, we lag behind going and finding and reviewing the literature. Yes, of course. Tools like iris.ai exemplify the power of AI in aiding research endeavors. So that's it. Data visualization. It amplifies the impact of information. AI tools like Tableau analyze educational data, translating it into visually comprehensible insights. It can make the data and it can make it a visual one. Means not only aids educator but also empowers students to grasp complex concepts through visually intuitive representation. So you present the data alone. Say there are a few AI apps online where you can create your own videos based on the prompts that you type. I got this suggestion from one of my juniors. He said that 123 apps dot all apps dot 123 apps dot AI. That's one thing. I don't think India has that access. We have to go for VPN, I think, proxy to get this access of this particular AI tools. There you would find all the online AIs that would suffice your needs. For it suggests, or it can prepare its own video based on the prompts that you type in, and it can give you a video that would take time for you to arrange it, capture it, and work on it and give it to you. So that's it. AI enhanced peer review. Of course, AI revolutionizes peer review processes. Platforms like Turnitin utilize AI to assess writing and provide constructive feedback, not just mere feedback, deliberate mere feedback, constructive feedback, not just checking for plagiarism alone. Plagiarism is not the fact here, it checks, but also actively contributing to the improvement of students' writing skills. So these AI are transformative forces, of course. I hope you would believe with me after all these explanations I could make, the discourses I am able to present before you, where it helps us throughout the educational process. It makes us makes things flexible, easy, and it democratizes education and learning process and learning experience, and it gives a futuristic learning experience, and thus it acts as a transformative force in the educational sector. So as we move on, leveraging AI in education and research, how can we leverage these into the realm of education and research? Maybe it just not serves as a tool, but also as a dynamic partner. As said before, robotic research assistant, it acts as a dynamic partner. I can go on to my chat box and chat GPT, and I'm working on it. I'm using chat GPT. It's very friendly. It's helping me a lot when it comes to preparation for the classes or preparation for any of my own clerical works or even my research. It helps me a lot. It amplifies one's capabilities and possibilities. It's not just it's not just a demon that expels a human from educational setup. No, it amplifies. When you have this much, it gives you a huge result. When we harness it, how are we going to leverage it into the educational and research sectors? Say virtual teaching assistant. Yes, of course. So it's ready to support and enhance teaching experiences. Virtual teaching assistant. AI-powered virtual teaching assistants can answer queries. You don't need to go on and on, turn on your microphone and go on with that. It can automatically present it and provide additional resources and offer personalized guidance, ensuring that no student is left in the dark. No one is left in the dark. No. Homework assistance for a learner or a student, it pictures how you have to go on with the homework, and it gives you a stepwise process of where you lag behind. It provides solutions and also altered solutions, perspectives of solutions, and it tailors to the individual's learning style. Homework assistance it provides, you can add on that. Language learning, of course, I told you language learning, how AI helps, like apps like Duolingo and other apps, it helps us. So language learning platforms by AI can adapt to individual progress. For my own offer real-time feedback at once. If I commit a mistake in one of the exercises, it states that, okay, you have committed a mistake, redo it, check for the answer, redo it, and then it helps us identify what we are lagging behind. So it is giving us that. Syllabus designing. It's very, very complex task when it comes to syllabus designing. As educators, we know that. As researchers, we know that. So it takes the complexity out of syllabus designing. Through sophisticated algorithms, educators can leverage AI to tailor a syllabi that align with curriculum objectives. You present your curriculum objectives, student needs, and evolving educational trends. Automatically, it creates a dynamic and responsive curriculum or syllabus or syllabi, and it makes the learning dynamic and responsive, learning journey dynamic and responsive. And OBE, course plan preparation. So it helps us. Just the data is being fed. Automatically, it gives you the analysis, gives you the analysis. And when it comes to essays, email, letter, and report writing, of course, you write. It has revolutionized the writing process. You don't need to wait for so many other time. Grammatical mistakes or any other thing, students or learners don't need to find it very hard. It teaches you. It acts as a companion when you embrace AI into these essays, email, and letter writing processes, report writing processes. It crafts essays to composing professional emails and reports. AI-powered tools analyze language platforms, other suggestions for improvement. It presents other suggestions, and it enhances the overall quality of the written communication. You don't need to be afraid of. Yes, of course, there are a few apps like Grammarly or even ChatGPT, take for example. It acts as that. It gives you. And now Google in the present update has given an AI incorporation in the Google email. So when you compose it and when you want, you just type the prompts alone. You just type the prompts, you ask questions, or you just put these facts and data alone. Automatically, it creates you that. So it enhances. And research assistance. In the world of research academia, research assistance that's powered by AI becomes a game changer. Imagine having an assistant that shifts throughout vast volumes of literature, identify relevant sources, even generates initial insights of kickstart the research process. So you don't need to lag behind anything. It operates on its own and gives you everything. Accessible learning materials. It gives you AI offers, or it analyzes the learning patterns and preferences, and it creates an accessible learning material accommodating to the diverse needs. What I need, it gives me. What another fellow learner needs, it gives them. So it ensures that educational content is tailored to the individual requirements of each learner. And revision and test preparation, there happens to be AI. It gives you study plans. It gives you adaptive learning modules, real-time feedback, and it helps us revise, and it helps us optimize our time, optimize our revision strategies, and maybe making our assessments way more quality wise better. Literature review, of course, it helps us. you can opt for literature review based on the incorporation of AI into your research. It would help you how to go on with it, and assists researcher in identifying key works, trends, gaps in the knowledge, delimitations, expediting the literature review processes. Data analysis, we have already talked about that, presenting a data, and it gives you meaningful insights in accelerating the pace of discovery and invention based on the data. You don't need to wait for a scientist. He doesn't need to wait for the process. Already there are data. You just put in the data, you give it, and it processes it and gives back to you the best results. Data cleansing is very, very important. We say by automatically identifying and rectifying inconsistencies and errors in the data sets. You don't need to go on, click, and you don't need to delete it one by one automatically, manually. And it finds it. It finds the bugs in the data and it cleanses it. And AI ensures that researchers work with reliable and accurate information that AI can present, leveraging AI in the educational research forums. Hypothesis generation, of course, it generates hypothesis and helps you understand it. Citation management, yes, of course. Citation management, you don't need to go on with that. It has simplified the research clerical process. And collaborative research. It is not asking for, AI is not taking your research autonomously out of you and it is doing it all on its own. It is a collaborative research reach new heights with AI. Researchers from different corners of the globe can leverage AI platform to collaborate in real time, breaking down geographical barriers and fostering a global community of scholars. So AI makes it very, very easy for collaborative research. Data visualization, we have already talked about it. So how a researcher with an AI-driven tools can transform these data into visual representation, making that information more and more accessible, and that facilitates deeper understanding of research findings. Survey design, AI again. It probes to survey design by analyzing past survey data. AI can suggest optimal question structures, ensuring that surveys yield valuable and actionable insights. Maybe for writing research grant proposals. Of course, you just fill in. Crafting compelling research grant proposals is a daunting task, yes, of course, to get a grant. But AI can be a guiding hand. It's not that you just take everything from AI. You can have a format by analyzing successful proposals, offering tailored suggestions. AI empowers researchers to present their ideas with clarity and impact. It gives you a clarity, intelligibility in your research, and it gives it clarity, and it provides impact based on its understanding and the processing of data already been given. So yes, of course, it helps in education. This leverage of AI in education, it helps. It's not about relinquishing control, but about enhancing our capabilities, fostering creativity, and propelling us into a future where knowledge knows no bounds. So it amplifies our capabilities and qualities of education and research. So the next slide would go with a few things, how you can use the chat GPT chat boxes. How can you give prompts? It is high time that when we incorporate these chat GPTs in our classrooms, it is high time that we ask them to or we educate them, or we just facilitate the learners to use right prompts to identify their needs and resources from the given AI tool. So one fine thing that we can use, so a few things that, can you give me some examples of English idioms? Then automatically it gives you what are the differences between there, and there. So it can give you. So correcting statements, sentences, all these things with a prompt, you can do it. So we can help our learners help our learners by incorporating how to prompt in a chatbot and get an effective feedback or results back. And a few tools, again, as I said, I listed Babel, Grammarly, VoiceTube, Reverso, Linguist, Learn English Sounds Right, and Duolingo, Forvo, or some of the few ChatGPT. All these are Speakit, Speakometer, an accent trainer here. So all these things are there. All these things are apps and AI tools that you can use it in the classrooms. Use it in the classrooms, and that helps you understand the leverage of AI in education and research, of course. But there are maybe now we are in the next part. Now we have understood the challenges. I hope we have understood the challenges, and we have come to a sense that we are not in a battle with AI, but we are trying to be co-adaptive, and we are trying to be coexistent enough to accommodate AI into our educational prospects and turn it into an effective tool to enhance learning, teaching experiences and assessment experiences. So, but there are a few questions maybe you would have when it comes to the ethical and efficiency related concerns. There are a few questions, frequently asked questions. This is the next sector section that we are focusing. So maybe you can also put your answers here. Maybe the first question: will AI replace the personal touch in language teaching, especially in a subject like English, where nuances and cultural contexts are crucial? What's your opinion about it? Because that's a question, right? Personal touch is not there. Personal touch is not there, especially in English language teaching. What's your response? If you want, you can use chat box to present your answers. Will AI replace the personal touch in the language teaching and learning experiences? What does it have to do with it? No? Yes, of course. A valid concern, of course. Yes, a teacher can be a facilitator, which will make learning with AI interesting. Yes, of course. Yes, you don't lose. Maybe I'm just getting getting it. I said so. Yes, it's not going to replace, but it is to augment. It won't replace. Yes, I said. Yeah, it won't replace the personal touch. Say language learning apps like Duolingo, which uses AI to personalize lessons and provide immediate feedback. The personal touch is retained as AI becomes supportive ally, because it has in Duolingo. Just now I got a notification from Duolingo that you are lagging behind. So it gives you, it has a personalized touch. Just now I got it. The screen popped. So it makes it gives you a personal, it encourages you with some comments there. The personal touch is retained as AI becomes a supportive ally, enhancing the learning experience. Even ChatGPT made mention that it cannot replace certain bespoke skills of individuals, such as critical thinking. No, ChatGPT cannot critically think. It can present data. It can present perspectives, altered data information, and it cannot replace certain bespoke skills of individuals, such as critical thinking, associating knowledge. It's the humans, higher order thinking skills would associate the knowledges. That happens to be the wisdom. How to use knowledge becomes wisdom. How to use knowledge becomes wisdom. The locally appropriate context. Yes, I have so much data, so much knowledge, but how can I access it to a locally appropriate context? That is, it is within me. When I become a critic, when I become a critical thinker, when I become a person who can associate ideas, assert these ideas, put together and balance it, then of course, so you cannot lose personal touch. You cannot lose personal touch. Yes, of course, I have this here one comment here. Even English language doesn't translate or cultural norms accurately, but AI can give us ideas that would embellish our learning process. Yes, of course, because in a second language learning and teaching classroom, yes, of course, the conventional methods doesn't cope up with the cultural contexts, which are crucial, right? But AI would process it and give it to you. You don't lose touch. The next question is that can AI understand the intricacies of literature and appreciate the nuances of language in the literature classes? This is another question. You can also reflect on this particular question. Can AI truly understand the intricacies of literature and appreciate the nuances of language in literature classrooms? So highly skeptical. Yes, AI makes us skeptical, but maybe if you want to reflect, you can reflect on this. Excuse me. But for me, I would say, yes, it can. It can truly understand because AI is evolving to understand and analyze literature. It is going to its next stage, metaverse. When we say metaverse, in that virtual 3D world, automatically it analyzes everything. So likewise, in the educational forum also tries to understand and analyze literature. Tools like IBM's Watson analyze vast amounts of literary works, recognizing patterns and themes. While AI may not replicate human emotions, yes, of course, it's human emotions cannot be replicated, but it can offer valuable insights, aiding teachers in comprehensive literary analysis. Of course, it helps our teaching experience. It enhances our teaching experiences. It gives so many other dimensions, perspectives through understanding and analyzing literature. So yes, of course, it can understand, but the human emotional part connecting with it lies. So that only we focus on this particular point called harnessing it and collaborating with AI, transfusing with AI, not just separating AI as a single entity, but transfusing, collaborating with AI and functioning as a wholesome medium to enhance our experiences in the classroom. And I have another question here. How can AI facilitate creativity and critical thinking in English classes? This is a interesting question. I hope you can respond in the chat box if you are willing to. You can put your views here, reflect on that. How can AI facilitate creativity and critical thinking in English classes? We have this misconception. How can AI be critical? So it's a critical or creative, but you know that, right? Yes, of course. AI is a tool that facilitates metacognition. Yes, of course. Maybe the end product can be altered. It can be made into our own with the personal touch. We can make it our own. But yes, of course. There is a misconception that AI stifles creativity. It can be a catalyst, but AI provide powered tools like OpenAI's ChatGPT-3 generate creative content, sparkling ideas. Maybe just give a prompt to that. What are the new trends in the business field? Then automatically it gives you sparkling creative ideas. Teachers can leverage this to prompt discussions, encouraging students to critically engage. Based on this, you can engage critically with AI-generated content and develop their unique perspectives. You don't need. Maybe they have generated it all along, but we can impart critical thinking amongst the learners, and they can even AI-based assessment can be conducted. Since questioning is the new knowledge, yes, of course, questioning becomes the new knowledge here. How to question? Because it's been constantly nagging us all throughout the educational process, because how to question is the biggest task we cannot question. But when somebody starts questioning things, automatically they are in the first step of finding an answer to a problem, a suitable problem. So here, framing questions, asking questions, you can become more and more closely related with the AI, where you are trying to personalize AI. Personalize, as said here in one of the comments, what I observe personally, classroom becomes more interactive with the AI. Of course, you can get AI's content developed, and now you can ask the fellow learners, you can facilitate the fellow learners to critically contemplate on those things by posing probing questions. How to pose a probing question based on this? They would be probing questions in the chat box to produce the best content. Here, in using AI, the basic thing is that how you pose prompts, probing questions in the chat bot, automatically that gives you the best content. That gives you the best content. Just simply you just type, it's not going to give you, it just gives you a random thing. But when you are accurate enough to type out the best prompt, the actual prompt needed for your particular knowledge source, then automatically it gives you the best content. Fine. And we have this another doutage. Can AI handle the subjective nature of language assessment, particularly in grading essays and evaluating creative work? Can AI handle this subjective matter? Yes. Objectively speaking, giving knowledge, yes, okay. It's there. But how can we handle this subjective matter? How can AI handle subjective matter like the nature of language assessment, or like grading essays, answers, evaluating creative writing? How can we do that? So it's a doubt we'll have. Maybe if you want to reflect on that too, you can reflect on this particular question. It's a doubt that everyone has. And certainly platforms like Turnitin employ AI to assess writing. It assesses writing, not just for plagiarism, but also for style. I have already talked about Turnitin in the earlier slides. Here, it also seeks for style, coherence, and grammar. While AI may not replace human judgment entirely, yes, of course, my judgment, my human-based judgment, my cognition cannot be replaced, but it acts as a valuable assistant. That's the point here. Of course, it acts as a valuable assistant, providing consistent and timely feedback. Of course, you have to do like this, do like that. It can be like this. It gives you alternatives and allowing teachers to focus on more nuanced aspects related to critical and creative thinkings, the higher order thinking skills. And we'll just go for the next question, because I'll just run a little, make it a little fast. Like, how can AI contribute to the qualitative aspects of language research, such as analyzing the cultural implications of a text? So it's a skeptical question asked by many. So AI, does it have this capability? Does it have this contributory factor to the qualitative aspects of language when you want to analyze culturally, or the cultural implications of a particular text? And of course, AI's capabilities extend beyond quantitative analysis. Of course, it's not only processing the raw data. It's not only processing and giving you the results of a raw data. Tools like Google's natural language processing, based on that, can discern sentiment, identify cultural references, and even gauge the emotional tone in texts, how it is. So that's how AI is fed up with information and knowledge. This aids researchers in exploring qualitative aspects, enriching the depth of their analysis. So it's not just quantitative, it also acts as a quantitative parameter here. And there happens to be another question: will AI create a standardized approach to English language teaching, potentially stifling creativity in lesson planning? So it's a question: does it standardize? Maybe we talked about this customization versus standardization in one of the earlier slides. Not necessarily. AI doesn't create a standardized approach, does not give one approach or the one approach, because as you know that it's not that. AI can offer insights based on data, but that doesn't dictate a rigid approach. This is what it is. It doesn't say. It goes beyond that, and it produces insights, or it offers insights based on the given data. Say, imagine AI suggesting diverse teaching methods, like the different exercises in the classroom, language learning classroom, methods based on students' responses. Just create something on an AI platform and you just present it to those students based on their responses. It gives you altered methods of teaching. So that's it. This dynamic adaptability ensures lessons remain flexible. It's not standardized. It's not one. It's flexible and creative in lesson planning is not compromised. It cannot compromise on that. And we have another doubt that how can AI address individual needs of students in English class, considering the diverse learning styles and space. And of course, I've stated that before in the leveraging AI in education and research. That's a particular slide. AI's strength lies in personalization. Again, to quote my experience with Duolingo, yes, of course, it is personalizing my learning platform. Adaptive learning platforms like those powered with Key Newton analyze individual students' process. Key Newton, there's one platform. It analyzes individual student progress, tailors contents accordingly. This ensures that each student receives support aligned with their learning style, because we know that there are different learning styles. So based on their pace and learning style, it provides data and content and enables them to engage in a meaningful language learning experience, of course. And skeptical question again is there a risk of over reliance on AI, potentially diminishing the role of a teacher in the English education? No, of course not. I've already told you in the slide, are we in a battle with AI? No, it cannot. It does not act as a replacement. Teacher's role becomes more pivotal in guiding and contextualizing AI-generated insights. Whatever you have got from AI, you are able to contextualize. You are able to guide the learners based on the AI-generated insights. For instance, AI can recommend literature, but it's the teachers who impart the cultural and historical context, fostering holistic learning experience. So if you want to have a holistic learning experience, of course, there happens to be the educators who infuse AI into learning elements, learning or teaching learning experiences, where we try to give them or foster a holistic learning experience, having virtual assistants from AI. So that's it. It cannot act as a replacement. We don't need to fear. For that. Maybe if we are skeptical, okay, fine. Now we have got a strong answer that tells a different one. And again, we have a question on the 9th one. How can AI contribute to making English language education more inclusive and accessible? It's one question that we have to ask, because AI holds an immense potential for inclusivity. It's very, very inclusive, because you know that it's very, very personalized based on learners' needs. So speech recognition tools like those integrated into language learning apps assist learners with pronunciation. Additionally, AI can generate accessible learning materials, ensuring that educational content is tailored to various learning needs and abilities. Based on my own need and necessity and ability, my pace, my learning style, it makes it is very inclusive in providing assistance to a learning experience. And finally, there happens to be a doubt. Is there a risk of bias in AI generated content, especially in the context of English language teaching that involves cultural nuances? Of course, it is an important concern that we should have, because developers, AI developers, apps, AI developers are addressing bias in AI. They are actively addressing bias in AI. No, it's a challenge. It's not a blockage. So it evolves out of these say biased ideas. For example, Google's BERT, bidirectional encoder presentations from transformers, aim to understand the context, reducing biases. Continuous vigilance and refinement are crucial. Yes, of course, we need continuous vigilance and refinement and debugging of these AI to remove these bias, AI generated content, and to ensure AI aligns with diverse cultural nuances of English language education. Now, it's not just one, but various. So it's inclusive. It should be inclusive. AI should be inclusive so that it supports a holistic learning experience. So these bias are removed gradually or actively removed from the existing platforms. Users through diverse reading and information processing can negotiate bias. So it is not that what we see, it's post-truth. What we see doesn't matter. In the age of watching, we just confine ourselves to the falsehood, but or stick inside this bias. But how to come out of these things and make a proper cultural understanding of those cultural nuances is based on how we have this diverse reading and information that we are able to process, and that can negotiate bias. So AI, when we are embracing AI in education and research, it's not about replacing the teacher or the educator or the researcher, but empowering them with tools that enhance efficiency, cater to diverse learning needs, and open new avenues for creativity and critical thinking. So it's not a replacement, but it's a amplifier that enhances, or an enhancer that enhances efficiency, that caters diverse learning needs, teaching needs, testing needs, and opens new avenues. It's a paradigm shift. It takes a little time. But it would happen eventually. But we have to cope up with that. We have to be cope up with that with a transhumanist view. We have to cope up with that, and we have to use those transformative forces and exploit them before they exploit us, before we get exploited by those. So that's one thing. And let me move on to the next one. Yes, research avenues in AI and ELT. When we explore the cutting edge intersections of research and English education, we uncover exciting avenues where artificial intelligence is not just a tool, but a catalyst for transformative pedagogy. So I happened to recently conduct a workshop on watching skills, where I focused on using AI tools which help catalyze this language learning process. Like listening, speaking, reading, and writing can be fostered through watching skills. Maybe AI can help. So it gives you, or it acts as a catalyst. It does not act as a barrier, but acts as a catalyst for transformative pedagogy. First is that evolving intelligent tutoring systems. Yes, of course, it gives you these tutoring systems. Say, imagine a system that adapts to individual student needs. Of course, personalization, offering tailored guidance and support. And through ongoing research, these systems are becoming dynamic partners. Of course, it is becoming a dynamic partner, reshaping how English is taught and learned, giving you different methods, methodologies, pedagogies, and presents you with varied understandings of language learning experiences, and that helps us. Helps our English language learning, teaching, and testing experiences. Speech recognition and analysis. Yes, it opens up a new dimensions in language education. research in these areas focuses on creating systems that not only recognize speech, but analyze nuances, intonation, pronunciation, and even contextual understanding. Okay, so it's like that. So it gives you that more personalized and effective tools are given here. And natural learning processing, as we've discussed already. So it caters to the needs of the people based on that. And also, yes, adaptive learning, gamification. It gives adaptive learning, gamification, collaborative learning exercise, and creating language learning apps compatible with various vernacular languages. What is my vernacular language? Yes, of course, it goes on with that, and then it is very compatible. AI is very compatible with that. And finally, it gives you practical solutions using HAI collaboration. HAI collaboration is that it's that embrace AI to enhance human competence. It's that human and artificial intelligence. HAI is human and artificial intelligence. It's a collaboration. So you should not be you should not hate AI. So don't hate to say hi. Embrace to enhance and not to replace. You have to embrace to enhance. It is not to replace any human usages. And it consume and co-construct. So again, here again, I would like to acknowledge Dr. John Shaker again, as I first heard this phrase from him several years ago, to visualize ourselves as co-constructors of knowledge. So with AI, we're able to be with the AI, join together, collaborate together, and we are trying to co-construct knowledge. We are not just being replaced there. Again, technology for sophistication or utility, that's a question. But it's not about sophistication. It's not about sophistication. It enhances productivity and efficiency. And yes, are we ready for the metaverse? Yes, of course. In a few years, maybe our children won't be going to virtual classrooms. If they want to live in American environment, they can do it in their metaverse. Even they can go into this metaverse, sit for an hour, and then they can be there in that place where it is not India, and they can be in America, and they can work in the metaverse, they can earn money in the metaverse, they can transform that money, because you know this Bitcoin concepts, there are cryptocurrencies. Yes, of course. So it's going to be the neo reality in the future. So how are we going to foster it, or how are we going to make ourselves ready to meet this particular metaverse? That's one question that we have to ask. And democratizing AI access. Democratizing, yes, it is it can be a practical solution where we should make AI accessible and affordable to all the classes and masses when they want to empower with using AI. Lifelong learning, it gives lifelong learning. So democratizing AI, giving access to everybody, so that it's a joint effort in learning, teaching, and testing. So that's it. Phone HOTS using AI, more productivity. Yes, it gives more productivity when what is it? Yes, the UAE Prince of UAE, he said during the opening of the Museum of the Future, imagine, design, and build. Yes, of course, when we want to do that, we have to go for the higher order thinking skills, and by using AI, covering the lower order thinking skills, which gives us more productivity, creativity, and critical aspects of life, where we are able to design and build and imagine more beyond what we are now. And yes, acquire digital literacy. Yes, in the age of post-truth era, information processing, in the age of watching, it's very, very important. It's very, very important. We have to know what is false, what is right, and we have to be educated. We have to have an voracious reading experience apart from watching what it is. So it's that we have to acquire digital literacy skills to navigate our thoughts and understandings and biases. That's very, very essential. And also this AI challenges assumptions and perceptions. So use of technology, it would challenge our own conventional assumptions. When we assume something like this and perceptions, it will challenge it. And it is the hallmark of evolution and education. Yes, I would go on with Carl Sagan, a famous astrophysicist. He said that when we want to venture into Mars, this attitude of assumptions and presumptions that we have that limit ourselves from evolving to a superhuman being, cyborg maybe. Yes, I'm wearing a spec. Yes, of course, I'm using technology. I'm wearing a watch. Of course, I'm using technology. I'm in front of a laptop. Yes, where I have to break down my own conventional assumptions and presumptions and come out of it to become a person or an individual who is far lesser with the weaknesses that are present in the years back, and should be present with more of strengths, and we become superhuman beings, and then we can venture into Mars. That's what he says. And of course, that's a challenge. That's a challenge for us when we use AI. Yes, and it gives us the collaboration with AI. It gives us this to challenge our own presumptions and assumptions to come out of it, and that would help us evolve and educate our own. And yes, evolving locally appropriate modules, of course. What is essential for me that it gives us? Employing learner-oriented assessments. It is not teacher-oriented assessments, it's learner-oriented assessments that it gives. And of course, finally, undertaking contra-disciplinary research. Explore the unexplored. We have to try to explore the unexplored. Need to collaborate with the constraining disciplines is the key to success. Suspension is an investment to undertake such research pursuits. Suspicion is an investment to undertake such research pursuits. We have to go for this contra-disciplinary research, not just sticking to one area, but going on to different aspects, arenas, and getting our research done. And that would be done or solved with the collaboration with AI. So finally, to sum up, I would say the same quote that I started this session with, Kaniyan Pungandrana's poetic lines, Teedum Nandrum Pirartaravara. It is not from technology that harm comes. It is with the user. It is with the human who uses or who exploits technology. It comes within me. It comes from me, good and not so good things. So it is in my hands to use it. It cannot replace. It cannot replace the educators. It cannot replace the educators in the educational fraternity. But yes, we have to embrace and coexist and be coadaptive and collaborative with the use of AI, and that makes our classroom experiences a futuristic one and a better one. Thank you, and I think we have come to the end of the session, and I'm open to questions. Feel free to ask questions and doubts. Thank you. Yes. So if you have any questions, you can put that in the chat box so that we can have an interaction here. Any queries with the discourse, you can also present it. Yes. Any questions? which AI detecting software can be used for plagiarism checking for content? Yes, of course. I have listed a few apps, I think, in the presentation. And maybe there are many online platforms where we can go for detecting these. So yes, all the libraries have that, but yeah, we can use that. How does AI do all the things it does? Yes, a basic question. It acts on the impart of what is it? The fundamental data and the algorithms and the programming. That's it. And your responses add to the programming. Whatever we add, it does it. So whenever we give a prompt, automatically it goes on and it creates its own responses, and that's why it is functioning in a better way, and it does all things. Yes. Okay. And AI versus authenticity, what's your opinion? Okay. Authenticity, that's what I told you, because we want to negotiate the bias, and there are a few things. Authenticity, because in the age of watching, we have to be very, very careful in what we consume and what we give out also. So it's within us to check for the authenticity. So we have to be gatherers of knowledge and resources. We should not be dependent on AI alone. AI is a suggestive tool. Sometimes it's a catalyst, a suggestive tool that would help us understand the existing ideas. But the authenticity comes with us critical thinking based on various resources and the local context we put in. That helps us get the authentic idea. So yes, of course, it is with us, the critical thinkers. Yes. Which AI detecting software can be used? Oh, did I? Yes. Maybe I will just check with maybe the best one. I will just check with it. Maybe there are a few research softwares. Turn it in. That would provide this plagiarism check and all. But yes, of course, it can do more than plagiarism check. I think I have said that. Yes, plagiarism checking. Turn it in. Okay. Any other questions? I hope I have answered a few questions which are asked in the comments section. And now I pass on the session to the organizing committee. Yeah.
Our gratitude and laurels to Professor John Stewart Raj for resigning us with the advent of technology, and also for igniting a vision for the future education, like infusing artificial intelligence in classrooms, teaching learning challenges in the technology, digital literacy, and gamification and language learning. We are truly grateful for the depth of knowledge shared. A warm thanks, as your contribution has left a lasting impact on all the fraternities present here. Thank you again. As we draw the curtains on this remarkable Day 5, Session 1, happy to call upon the research scholar, Ms. Shamlin Golda, to express her heartfelt appreciation and gratitude to the virtual gathering.
Good afternoon, everyone. On the 5th day of National Level Faculty Development Program, I want to take a moment to express our heartfelt gratitude to all the individuals who have contributed to the success of this event so far. First and foremost, a big thank you to our college principal, Dr. B. Jabakar Sambil, and college secretary, Mr. S. Premkumar Singh, for their continuous support and encouragement. I would like to extend our sincere appreciation to our resource person, Mr. J. John Stewart Raj, for his insightful speech on AI in education and academics, ally or rival, a discourse on its effective and ethical use. His expertise has truly enriched our program. A special thanks goes out to the organizing committee, the technical team, and all the amazing speakers who have shared their wisdom with us. We are grateful to Mrs. J. Christy Johnson for leading us in prayer, Dr. J. Mary Stella for her warm welcome address, Mrs. P. Yunus Salomi for introducing the chief guest. We also appreciate Dr. M. Beulah Hemalata for her excellent comparing, and the rest of the organizing committee members for their hard work. But wait, there's more. I want to remind all the participants to stay tuned for the next 2 days of the program. We have some exciting sessions lined up that you won't want to miss. Lastly, I would like to acknowledge our convener, Dr. M. Beulah Hemalata, our coordinator, Dr. J. Mary Stella, and our organizing secretary, Mr. T. Jude Livingston, for their dedication and efforts in making this event a grand success. Once again, a big thank you to everyone who has contributed to this 5th day of faculty development program. Let's keep the momentum going and make the next 2 days even more remarkable. Thank you.
Thank you, Shamlin. All your active participation is greatly valued, and we look forward to another engaging and informative session at 2 p.m. Thank you. Hearty thanks to the resource person, Professor John Stewart Raj again, on behalf of the PG and Research Department of English. God bless you. Bye.
Thank you.